Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho Moscow quadruple murders. Madison Morgan had on this black jacket. She was wearing it when she was at the Grub Truck Twitch video. I'm interested in finding out how Maddie's jacket ended up here. Did the private Uber driver drop off the girls at this spot? And if so, were the girls attacked here? The reason I say that is it was a cold night and the jacket was a much bigger size than Maddie. I believe she borrowed the jacket from someone, or somebody must have just felt sorry that it was chilly and Maddie had on little clothes. We know that usually, whether people are drunk or sober, they would usually take off their jacket if they're hot. And if they do not take it off their jacket, somebody must have taken it off for her. Why would this jacket be thrown in the bushes? And why was the police investigating this certain area? Were they given tips that the jacket was here? Or did they go back to the Grub Truck video and notice that Maddie's jacket is missing? And when they finally found the jacket, or something that looks like the jacket, wouldn't it be right to take it for further investigations, just in case it had DNA on it? They just looked at it. There were two officers and they threw it down back in the bushes. Now what is strange is I pointed this out before, at least a month ago or 2 months ago, that when the Banfield alcohol stop was done and the boys, the 3 minor boys, were brought across the street, they were brought to this position here. When they were standing here, I could clearly see something like that looked like a black jacket or a black cloth lying on the other side of the bushes. One of the 3 boys nudges the other one with his elbows. He was waiting for the moment that the police wouldn't see him. The undercover police was standing right in front of them. So what he does is he nudges him with his elbow, and then the other one stamps on the jacket with his foot. It looked like he was trying to push it inwards into the bushes. I believe I was the first one and the only one for the last couple of months trying to point out that the Banfield alcohol minor stop the four figures running, the Sigma Chi boys allegedly, are all connected in this mess. And I hope we'll find out more about that in the court when the trial starts. Even the grub truck video is involved. I know everyone sees things different, which is beautiful because then we all can figure out what actually could have possibly happened. Many people have debunked the grub truck video by saying that it was a reflection that number 9 was putting something in Maddie's mouth. It was absolutely not a reflection. As a mental health counselor, especially as a cognitive behavior therapist, we are taught to analyze things and pay attention to things happening behind the scene. We are taught not to only pay attention to what is said, but what is not said. Not to pay attention only to what we see, but what is behind the background, because a lot is usually silent behind the background. Because people usually focus and get distracted by listening, especially like the Banfield alcohol stop. People are too occupied listening to the police officers and the 3 boys standing and side. But it's important to pay attention to the behaviors of the boys, which I'll come to soon. So my question is, how did Madison Morgan's jacket land here? Were the girls attacked at this position here? Were they taken somewhere else? Were they dragged home? What happened here? This investigation has been conducted in a very poor manner. They look at the jacket, they open the jacket, the 2 cops look at each other, and then they chuck it in behind the bushes. What was the purpose of that? When you're dealing with the active investigation, each and every little thing is crucial. A piece of paper, a pen on the floor. Let it be anything, because that could contain DNA. Let's not forget, the murders took place somewhere between the 12th to the 13th. Let's even say the 13th. When the crime scene forensics came, they weren't wearing their whole gear kit. They were going in and out of the place with the same gear. At the start, they weren't even wearing masks. Some of them were sneezing. They were covering their hands with the nose with their elbow. And that is tampering of the forensic, of the criminal scene. The FBI did not enter this case. They weren't invited in this case until the 17th of November. Pay attention. 5 days later. The coroner herself said that she was let in to the crime scene between 5 to 5:30, somewhere between there. So we have Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk and the Sigma Chi boys calling 911 for unconscious person 8 hours later, if not 9 hours later. Then we have the police holding on to the crime scene from 12 to 5:30 until the coroner comes in. What was being conducted inside? And within that 8 hours period, could the bodies have been moved? Trigger warning. This is a sensitive case, a very sensitive topic, but we have to think out of the box. 8 hours to contact or call 911 for unconscious person when this is a bloody crime scene. Could the bodies have been moved around? Allegedly, so that it may look like these girls died in their sleep? Were the bodies placed in a certain position? Was there cleanup? I'm being honest. Was there a cleanup? Why were the Sigma Chi fraternity boys called? We heard that the girls, the surviving roommates, could not open the door, so they had to call Hunter Johnson and the Sigma Chi boys. Why? Isn't that the job of the police? If you know and heard, like Dylan heard, a lot of strange noises and strange behavior going on in the house, and just say, for whatever reason, you decided, okay, I'm going to lock my door, text BF, and go back to sleep, why would you feel safe to go back to sleep when you heard so much going on in the houses with your roommates? Could it be because you allegedly know the killer or killers? That would only explain. I know many people say, oh, do not talk about the roommates. They were traumatized. Shock does a lot of things. I'm going to take the chance to say that today. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist, a licensed mental health counselor. We deal with traumatized people for a living. We deal with people who suffer of stress, panic, all kinds of mental illnesses. Cognitive behavior, your thoughts and your behavior, and your emotions comes with it. I do understand that shock can put you into flight, fight, freeze mode. But you have active murders going on in the house. The shock reaction would last only for a while. It wouldn't last for 8 hours. You have active quadruple murders going on. I know some people may say, yeah, but they did not know it was murders going on. Let me remind you all, the person who lived in the house before, and many other people have said, the house was an old house. If anyone walks up the steps or walks around the corridor, the whole house could hear that. So when Dylan, or should I say DM, was saying that she clearly opened the door thrice, not once, not twice. Let me make myself clear. Thrice, 3 times. You opened the door 3 times for what? That means, allegedly, this is my opinion now, nothing to do with my expertise as a therapist, but common sense will tell you, and the way your body and brain reacts is fright. You end up in a fright and freeze mode. She must have froze the first time, but you opened the door second time? You opened it the third time? Makes me wonder, did you know the people who were committing these horrific acts? Why was the latent footprint found in front of Dylan's door? Dylan said that Brian Christopher Kohlberger allegedly went straight from Xana's room, may she rest in peace, to the outside sliding door. What exactly took place on the 13th of November? Where did the cab or the Uber driver drop off Maddie and Katie? Because the jacket couldn't have, the black coat couldn't have just landed here. Either it was snatched off Maddie when she was walking up the steps, were these girls taken somewhere else? This is another picture that I've always been thinking about. This is the basement door of the Kings Road, 1122 Kings Road house. Could the suspect have come in from the basement? Because you can see they taped the crime scene around the tree to the basement door. I wonder if the basement door was always left locked, or if somebody left it open from inside the house. Because let's not forget, Xana and Ethan came home around 1:45. I don't believe any timelines of what the police say so far, because they got everything wrong. That's my personal opinion. I'm entitled to that. So what if this was an inside job? Was somebody working inside with the killers, from the inside? I'm just putting it out there. We have to analyze each and every theory or possibility to come to the truth of this. We've just been told from the start, don't ask questions. The girls the two surviving roommates are just witness. They're shocked, they're traumatized. That's possible. What if they were involved? That is a possibility too. Because nobody knows. Besides the 4 victims, may they rest in peace, and besides God Almighty. We don't know the relationships that the 4 victims, DM and BF, have been having. What if there was resentment, anger, fights happening inside the house before the 13th of November? And I explain to you why I say that. Now let's think, who lives on the second floor? Xana, and we heard that Dylan moved to the second floor. So was Dylan occupying 2 rooms, first floor and second floor? So if Dylan lived in the second floor, DM, that means she was sharing the bathroom with Xana. Why was Xana's door locks changed? Why did she ask her father Jeffrey to come and help her to change the locks or tighten the lock or whatever? Let's not forget, Xana was living with Maddie and Kaylee from the start. This is the first time she asked her father to change her locks. Was her stuff being stolen? Was somebody walking inside her room without permission? Or what, did she feel unsafe for her own safety? Did she understand that something sinister was going on in the house? Did she have her suspicions? Is that why she asked her dad, "Come over, please, and change my locks"? Or was there something in the house that shouldn't have been there, that she needed a lock for? That's the basement door. Did somebody come through the basement door? Did someone leave the basement door open on purpose? Or the windows open on purpose? Or the sliding door, was it left open on purpose? I'm just speculating. I'm not accusing anyone of everything. But we can't be biased. We have to think out of the box and think what are the possibilities. Xana asked her father to change her locks. Something was going on, I personally believe. Pay attention to the boy's shoes. Is that a Nike shoes or Van Nuys? But pay attention behind these shoes. The jacket is there. The other one who's standing next to him, the other pair of shoes you see, he nudges him, and then this one stands on it. He tries to push it away so that the police wouldn't see it. Allegedly. We can see the crime scene tape on Dylan's window. BF's window. The forensics was taking a lot of pictures from the outside on the other window. They were even taking fingerprint dust on the other window. And this is the picture from the very first day that the crime happened. So you can see under Xana's window, I just came across that, so I have to mention that there's no blood. There isn't any dry blood. It was something pinkish, and it wasn't, even if it was blood, you would have seen it coming from the window right down. But the pink thing is at the edge, not the edge under the window, the other side, on the front side of the house. So it couldn't have been blood. I've seen that many times, that's why I've never bothered about that. And let's give the police some credit. They were up in Xana's room for days, and Kaylee and Maddie's room. The windows were open at Xana's room and they were inside, so they would have taken pictures of it, they would have taken fingerprints of it. For me, there's nothing to see there, honestly. But I'm really interested in these windows. The side of the house is important too. Pay attention. Something happened from that side of the house. The basement has a crime scene tape. The basement door, like I showed you, so something was going on there too. Those were the places of entrance or exit. Allegedly. I wonder if Bethany Funk saw the people, the suspects, or the suspect from her window. The front door was left wide open. 8:30 in the morning, a man on his way to work, a neighbor, saw the door wide open, and it was cold. How come BF didn't notice that? How come she didn't feel the draft? What does he have on his eye? And why does this one have his arms crossed the whole time? Could he be carrying a knife? He doesn't let go of his hands. I believe I was the first one, and I'm still the only one who's analyzing the Banfield minor alcohol stop body cams. I've always found that to be important. That's the reason I went to this case from the very beginning. A lot has been happening. A lot was happening at the start, especially with these two boys, the one that was just let go with the hoodie, and Saeed with the bushy eyebrows, and Saeed. These four young men, I personally believe, came from the crime scene. They were part of the crime scene. And the 4 figures running. That will make them 8 people. I'm sure there are more. Is he wearing glasses? I don't know what he's wearing, but that looks creepy. Many people have told me, actually some people have told me that that isn't a glove. Whatever it is, it looks like a glove. This one still has his arms folded. What I find strange is that obviously I live in London, it's a big city. You see a lot of undercover cops or normal police arresting citizens or checking their pockets and all that. The first thing the police tells them usually is put your hands down. Put your hands where I can see it. How come the undercover police didn't tell these boys, put your hands down? I find this whole stop to be a very fishy stop. That's all I can say. Because I know the police analyze things too. They watch things. They study behavior like we therapists do. I would have been wondering, why does this one have his hands in his pocket? Why does that one have his hands folded? What is up with the one glove? Yeah, Michael Jackson, so what's happening? I would have asked them to start with, put your hands out of your pockets, and I would have told this young man in the corner, put both your hands down. So whatever they have will drop out. And I would have checked, because they have been called, the police have been called for 911 call. If it was the same call from Sigma Chi. Even if they weren't called, the police stopped these guys. These are youngsters. They could be carrying weapons. They could be up to no good. They're minors who are drunk. Why don't you check their pockets? The UK police wouldn't hesitate. That's the first thing they would have done to this group age. And that's not discrimination. Because they know that they carry sharp weapons and there's a lot of killings out on the street. Another thing that I find extremely important is the police officer asked these 3 young men, where did you all come from? They couldn't remember. They were like, we came from a party somewhere up above there. Whose house did you come from? What's the person's name? One said, I don't know. The other one said, I think his name is Matt. Pay attention to that. The police officer should have asked him, what's the flat number that you came from? Show me Matt's house. Or show me the direction he lives. Were these amateur cops? I ain't criticizing. Because cops would have taken this more serious. You have minors drinking, dressed up in a very suspicious behavior, acting very suspicious. But nothing was done about that. They threw Maddie's jacket back in the bushes. How about that? And they just jumped into the SUV like nothing happened. They walked away. The jacket is thrown in the bushes. I didn't understand the purpose of that at all. I personally believe that the 4chan poster was really important to this case. The OP 4chan, not this OP, then posted the dark photo at 3:09 and titled it illiterate in the photo, which you can see in the links above. Then they posted a minute later of the one with the woman at 3:10, and it said first step. The photos or original posts, through it, I can see it, allegedly where the coordinates. Yeah, sorry, just read it yourselves. But I believe this is extremely important. These people had the audacity to be writing all this on social media, on 4chan and other places. Trigger warning, this is John Jack Showalter Jr. Just read in the corner what it says. It is believed that Jack S. is the hoodie guy from the food truck. Jack S. was recently involved in a sexual harassment case and was kicked out of his frat. He was a great athlete and pretty popular until he wasn't. People beginning to realize he's creepy towards women, etc. He comes from money and being in a frat runs in his family. When he got kicked out, his life went downhill and he started losing friends. The night of the murder, it is said he's seen following the girls from the grub truck because he wanted to make sure they got home safe. I doubt that. I really doubt that. I think he was sent to escort them home. A plan was going on. He lives next door to the girls. He gradually keeps getting angry, and by the time he gets home, he sees the lights on, grabs a knife, and waits for them to go to bed before entering the house, allegedly. The videos can't find them right now of him and Kaylee playing with... The videos can't find them right now of him and Kaylee playing with our dog, which could be why the dog was spared. In his angry, filed rage, he enters the house and kills the girls on the 3rd floor and moves to Xana and Eaton. Whether that be because one woke up or he knew they were there and couldn't stop himself from getting after them either. I believe he kicked the doors open after the killing to delay finding them. In the morning, the girls, finding them in the morning. The girls hear someone's alarm going off upstairs. They can't get info to the get into the room to wake up the people, assuming it is, yeah. Wait, I'll go to the next page, but I'll just let it be up for a while so that you can see the text. Yeah, that's a group member wrote a theory which is the most logic I've seen. This is all alleged, but the reason I wouldn't be surprised if John S. Showalter did it is he can stomach blood, whether it's animals or whatever. That's how it starts. Antisocial behavior starts with animals, arson, psychopathic behaviors, sexual harassments. John S. Showalter, Jack John S. Showalter, has been someone I've been keeping an eye on from the beginning. And he was kicked out from the Delta frat, allegedly. I don't know if it's true. There were rumors in the start saying, people were saying that Eaton got him kicked out or reported him for something. That's a motive for revenge, allegedly. You can see on the floor he has 2 knives, and I remember in the other picture he had 1 knife in his hand. His mate over there has another one, a big one, huge. These people are no foreigners, no strangers to weapons. He used to have a lot of creepy pictures. These are from his Facebook. Hello, John, Jack Showalter, if you're hearing me. You knew it was in your Facebook. Why did you take it down? Is it the people in your family who has money that's protecting you, allegedly? And then we have my 2 favorite characters. Hello, Tommy Jude. Tommy Jude and me always bet on the 2 Jacks. Double Jacks. You could never go wrong with these 2. People are actually misunderstanding, and they were swearing and promising on their lives that the hoodie guy was Jack D. No, Jack D is Jack D. He's special. And then you have hoodie guy who's Jack S. Another special young man too. Strangely enough, both of them, one lived 3 minutes away from the girls, that's Jack D. Jack S lived 1 or 2 minutes away from the girls, on the other side. So the girls were practically in between the 2 double Jacks and in on hush. This case is like, have you seen the movie The Usual Suspects? Kaiser Soze, the character who goes around butchering everyone. But then Kevin Spacey is acting and he gets away with the whole story, acting like a crippled guy. So this case has the usual suspects. You can start counting them one by one. It's like over 15 dodgy characters, but they managed to blame BK for it. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm exploring, investigating, researching, trying to figure out how BK got caught up in this mess. Where was Jack S. that night? The rumor mill says that he drove to Boise from 2 a.m. to 6 or 7 in the morning. The only witness who can confirm that is his mother. Isn't that interesting? He drove to the cabin. Did he feel rejected? That the girls embarrassed him and walked off? Could he have got so upset he was full of rage? Let's not forget he got kicked out allegedly from the corner club. Could he have taken all his anger and bottled it inside and went after the girls, waited for the lights to turn off. He's been to that house before, let's not forget. He's the neighbor. He could have actually gone and filled gas, so he had gas in his car, petrol. So he must have just gone, allegedly done it, and drove off as far as he could. How do we know he even went to his mother? His mother could have just confirmed it for him. He could have just called and said, Mom, you don't understand. These people are trying to blame me and all that. And his mom, every mother knows their child. She must be thinking, oh my God, I always knew he was up to no good, but finally he went and did something outrageous. So she must have called the dad and said, you know what? There, that's it. John S. has started off his mischief and now it's bad. Book the tickets to Kenya or South Africa. Where should we go? Wherever. Let's go to Africa. No one will find us there. Just saying. Look at what a handsome young man he was. And look at him in the hoodie, how skinny, how drained out he looked. But this man has had a lot of antisocial personality disorder symptoms going on in his life. He's been thrown out of the fraternity. He was actually throwing dead animals, coyotes, on people's yards. Allegedly, he got thrown out of the corner club for harassing Kaylee and Maddie. He's been thrown out of the fraternity because he was harassing women again. He's always rude to women. He's a very privileged young man. His whole Facebook was him playing with knives and other weapons. He isn't scared of blood. You can see how he goes through an animal inside out, from the stomach to everything. Did he feel rejected by Kaylee or Maddie? What did he mean by, if he said that, if he said, Maddie, you know they're going to get you? If he allegedly said that, what did he mean by that? We saw the Sigma Chi boys near the Banfield stop. He was involved in the grub truck. He was with the girls. Number 8 and number 9. Number 9 was putting something up Maddie's mouth, allegedly. Him and number 8, who's standing and working with him, and many of the other grub truck guys are from Sigma Chi. So this plan, if they pre-planned this started from the grub truck or the corner club. This is the Delta fraternity he belonged to, that he got thrown away from because of harassments and because of playing with dead animals. Always pay attention to the behaviors, very important. Personally believe that the guy in the black tracksuit on the right should be investigated. Him and John Showalter were texting each other the whole time since he walked in. And he doesn't look like he saw this young crowd and young group. He kept on looking towards Maddie and Kaylee's direction when he came in. Pay attention to that. Maddie did not feel comfortable with John Showalter around. You can clearly see that. There's a period of time she points her fingers to Joe Vito and to Jack Showalter, and she says, You, Mr. F you. It even came on the news, guys. Trigger warning. Why did she say that? Why is Kaylee constantly on her phone? Now you have John Showalter on his phone. Not John Showalter, Jack Vito. And pay attention to the two guys behind Mr. Hoodie. John Showalter. The tall guy behind with his belt shining. I don't know if it's his belt or is that a weapon. He was dropped by a white car. He was picked up by a white car. He chucks away his food. This all started from the corner club to the grub truck to the Banfield stop to the four figures running. Pay attention. I don't talk much about the recordings from the Linda Lane because I would rather analyze these things that we see in front of us, because you can analyze it and speculate a bit, obviously. But I don't speculate on recordings and yearlings and all that. Because since we've been given false timelines, it would be really unprofessional to do that, honestly. Pay attention to Maddie's jacket. I think it's a man's coat. She borrowed it from someone, but isn't it strange? That would have had plenty of DNA, but the police decided to let it go. This investigation was done in a very wrong manner. At times it looks like a cover-up. There, I said it. Is this a cover-up? Was it pinned on Brian Koberger? Was Brian Koberger involved? Someone who would know the answers is the man standing in front of you. Mr. Hoodie guy. John Jack Showalter Jr. Or was it Jack John Showalter Jr.? Where is he? Is he back? And another thing I wanted to talk a bit about. Pay attention to his jacket. Something is bulging out. I hate to say that, but in UK and London, some young boys carry knives. And that's how their jackets look like. You'll even notice they have a funny way of walking if they're carrying in their pants. It's like they always drag one leg behind, or it's like they have that way of walking like... It's hard to explain. It's like their legs are not apart, but one leg is always dragging behind the other. But their jacket would be bulging out like that. We live in a modern time where we all use debit cards. We call them debit cards in the UK, Visa cards, credit cards, whatever cards. So people don't carry wallets anymore. That's too old-fashioned. What does John Jack Showalter have sticking in his jacket? Look at the left pocket. Pay attention to that. If you ask me, that looks like a weapon. I've seen enough people in the UK. Because we always have to be alert in London and keep our eyes open. You'll be walking and all of a sudden, police, ambulance, right after you pass a certain area, even the safest areas, all of a sudden a crime scene starts rolling up. Because the person who walked past you was carrying and he was targeting another person. It's really sad. So knife crimes is something that happens a lot in the UK, honestly. It is more personal, it's more intimate. It's usually a crime of passion, but in the UK, knives are used a lot because, yes, some people do use guns, but honestly, over here it's knives. Because they know they get lesser time, although the time has gone up for knives too. If you're caught carrying a knife in the UK, you go down for 5 or 10 years. They're taking it very serious, which I respect the laws. It's about time. He is. Let me see. Look at his jacket. What is bulging out of his jacket? I honestly believe he's carrying. What do y'all think? Ask some boys in my family his age what they thought, and when they saw his jacket, they said, he's carrying. Obviously, he's carrying. And you can literally see that looks like a shape of a K-bar or something like that. I'm not accusing him of anything, but this man shouldn't have been ruled out so early in the case. Just like Steve said, Kaylee's father. I feel surprised when people say, oh, he was a good man, he was just escorting them. He wasn't escorting. John Esher Walter, his psychopathic behaviors isn't something that you should dismiss. A person like that is never up to good. People say even, oh yeah, he was escorting them, but the girls ran away from him. Obviously, there's a reason. Why do you think they ran away from him? Maddie clearly said, Mr. F you. That means the girls weren't comfortable with him. This man wasn't escorting anyone. They reported him in the corner club. Allegedly, they got him kicked out. There was some witness who said that in the start. Some girls who were sitting in the corner club who knew Maddie and Kaylee. They said that he was creepy, he was harassments. They reported him and they got him kicked out. So I think that is after we saw the pictures of him and Adam and all of them sitting in the corner club. I think he got kicked out after that. He must have been standing outside waiting for the girls. I wouldn't be surprised if BK is innocent and John Esher Walter, the boys on the band feel stop, the four figures, the one who's throwing his food behind him, they all could have been involved. There, I said it. I'm being honest. BK could be involved. I've never said BK is completely innocent. I refuse to say that. I'm just saying I'm not satisfied with the evidence that's coming out. Others, they would have turned it in by now. Who are the 3 unidentified male DNAs? The other ones could have, I'm sure there were like 7, 8, 9 of them involved. But some of them are smart to wear gloves and masks and all that. John Showalter just looks destroyed over there. And if he's involved, nobody's going to tell on him. He has wealthy parents that flew him to Africa. He has wealthy parents that have connections with district attorneys in Boise, Idaho, and other places. This man is carrying. The more I look at it, he should have been investigated immediately. I believe they investigated him, but not enough. Look at what's bulging out of his jacket. You can see it's going upwards towards downwards to the edge of his jacket where the zip is. He looks like he has a knife. I'm really sorry to say that. Not accusing him, but allegedly. And this is for speculation. I'm just speculating. This is strictly for entertainment purpose only. I'm just telling you what I personally see with my two eyes. And when I analyze the behaviors going on, that's what I see. These two characters with the brown jacket and the black jacket should have been investigated properly. Look at the box of food he's carrying in his hand, the one in the brown jacket. He doesn't even open it. They separate ways. They bump into each other first, and then he chucks his food without even opening it. So he did not come to buy food. He came to observe the girls. I believe Maddie and Kaylee could have been the targets too. Was it the residence that was the target? Was something in the residence that shouldn't have been there? Allegedly. Pay attention to how John Showalter and the guy in brown are looking towards each other. There's a lot going on in this grub truck footage. Kaylee is non-stop on her phone. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is for entertainment purpose only, so don't come for me. Wishing everyone a blessed weekend. May justice be served for these 4 victims. Condolence to the families. May the correct justice be served, just in case Brian Christopher Koberger is innocent. He needs a proper trial. Nobody is guilty until proven guilty by the court of law. It just takes one jury member to be in doubt. If there's a reasonable doubt, it becomes a mistrial. We want justice for these children. That's the reason we want the correct investigation to have been conducted at the start. Not a investigation where Maddie's jacket was thrown in the bushes, where the Banfield clip we can see Saeed watching crime scene pictures allegedly, sliding through his phone. Whatever he's doing is not right. They didn't even know where they came from, where they were heading. This guy chucks his food. John Showalter is a known character, known person in his school, thrown out of fraternities, reported for SEXUAL, harassment behaviors. He was thrown out of his fraternity, like I said, because of his antisocial personality disorder behaviors, his psychopathic behaviors. Who are the targets, or who was the target? Was the basement door used to get in? Was the people, the so-called surviving roommates, did they just survive because they were not the targets, or did they work with the people who did this so that they wouldn't be the targets? Allegedly. Anything is possible. Always remember, you have to ask the tough questions, otherwise you're not going to get the answers. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.